Hello everyone, Steve Gage here, NASM certified personal trainer and co-owner of Engage Fitness DC. Today we're going to go over some upper body stretches, help alleviate a lot of that tension a lot of us are feeling now, especially a lot of that sitting brings us into that caved in position. So we want to relieve some of that tension, allow the body to move and function the way it was supposed to. So each of these stretches we're going to do 2 to 3 times, and we're going to hold at the end range of that position for 15 to 20 seconds. Again, finding that position that is a little uncomfortable, but it shouldn't be excruciatingly painful and you're just so tight and tense that it's unbearable. You want to find that little bit of discomfort and just try to breathe through that position and try to get a little more into the stretch. Again, taking it to where it serves you most at the point. It's not a competition. Stretching is not a, I have to be into this shape or I'm not doing it correctly. It's wherever your body is at the moment. So I'm going to start with stretching the chest and the shoulders, alleviate some of that tightness and tension. So with this stretch, you can do it standing or kneeling or even sitting if your arms are able to reach behind you. So we're reaching behind, interlacing those fingers together. Arms are slightly bent. So to start, we're going to squeeze the shoulder blades together. That's going to feel the stretch immediately in the chest and the shoulders. And then we're just going to raise those hands slightly. We're just raising them until we start to feel we're coming forward. We want to keep that tall, neutral spine. And breathe. We're just raising those hands. Just again to the point where you start to feel you're coming forward. We want to keep those shoulders over the hips, looking straight ahead, relaxing the shoulders down and back, and just finding that end range that those arms are going to. About 4 big inhales and exhales. Slowly lower those hands. Again, shake off any tension, the hands, the wrists, the shoulders. Let it all relax. And then one more time. Fingers interlace. Slight bend in the elbow. Sitting up tall or standing up tall, whichever position you're in. And just lifting those hands. Feeling that stretch in the shoulders, the chest, and just trying to make sure we're keeping those shoulders down and relaxed as much as we can. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, slowly come down and relax. Oof, shake off any tension that's there. Maybe get a little movement. So next we're going to move down to the floor. We're going to target the chest as well as the shoulder. So with this position, we're lying flat on our stomachs. You can either have the legs bent or straight. It's entirely whichever feels more comfortable. But we're getting one arm in a L position, keeping that elbow in line with the shoulder. Palm is flat on the floor. So we're trying to get that shoulder that's in that L position to the floor. And imagine that it's glued there, it's not coming up. So with the opposite hand, palm is flat on the floor, and then we're just gonna push away from the floor, keeping that shoulder glued. You're gonna feel that stretch across that shoulder and across the chest on that side. And we're just pushing, getting that opposite shoulder off the floor, maybe even getting the leg involved, getting it up and over. The key is we want to keep this shoulder glued to the floor. That's going to be our stretch. And finding that spot of slightly uncomfortable feeling there and excruciating pain, because we want to feel that little bit of discomfort but not excruciatingly painful, and relax the body as much as you can, because if your body's tense, that area we're trying to stretch is not going to be able to relax as well as it could be. So just try to breathe through it. And come back down to the floor. Give that shoulder and chest a stretch and relax. And then right back into that stretch, keeping that whole arm glued to the floor. And you can slightly adjust your arm position. You can try to get that arm a little higher, a little lower. Just find where you get the most bang for your buck in this stretch. You just want to make sure that shoulder and that L-shaped arm stays glued to that floor, creating that stretch. And then pause, right back down to the floor, switch sides, same thing. Get that elbow in line with the shoulder, palm is flat on the floor. And again, we're just pushing away from that floor, trying to get that shoulder glued, and just pushing away from the floor. Three to 4 breaths is the usual amount of time hanging in that stretch position. Comes out to about 15 to 20 seconds. And then right back down to the floor, give that area a break. About 2 to 3 breaths for a little break. Right back into it, keeping those shoulders glued. Again, adjusting that arm position if you need to. Right back to the middle. Okay, next we're going to focus on stretching the middle of the back as well as the shoulder blade area. It's another area of normal tension. We get that golf ball kind of feeling underneath that shoulder blade. So again, that's from that excessive sitting positions. So what we're going to do, get on all fours, hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath those hips. I'm going to pick one side, doesn't matter which, because we're going to do both. And we're just going to get that arm straight out and try to rotate as much as we can up. And then we sneak that hand right behind the other, trying to drop that shoulder down to the floor as much as we can. Also use your other hand to kind of pull on that hand that's underneath. So put the hands up together on top and just kind of pull out a little bit and then push the body into that back there. It's going to help stretch out that shoulder blade, the middle of your back, and help get rid of those areas of tension that tend to be a little tight. About 4 breaths here. And then come back to all fours. Same thing, get that arm straight out. And then sneak that other hand underneath.
trying to scoot it as far as you can, trying to drop that inside shoulder to the floor. And again, if you want to use that other hand to grab on and just kind of push your body backwards into that shoulder. Relax, come back to all fours. Do one side one more time each. Get that arm up. Sneak it right underneath. Relax, come back to all fours. Last time on the other side. And sneak that arm behind the other. Turn back to neutral. Pause. Also, while you are stretching, making sure you're drinking plenty of water. That's going to help keep the muscles hydrated and able to move a little more as we're getting into those stretching positions. Okay, last stretch. We're going to target that rotator cuff. Tends to get tight, and again, it pulls us in a little more. We want to get that shoulders back and down. So with this, hands are in line with the elbow. Elbows are glued to the sides. And then we're just going to separate those hands as far apart as we can, keeping those elbows glued to the sides. So we just move those hands out to the side just until you start to feel those elbows are coming up. We'll keep those elbows glued as close to the side as we can. We're trying to feel this stretch all pretty much where that shoulder connects in that socket. Five, four, three, two, one. Slowly come back to the middle. Give that area a break. And then squeeze those shoulder blades together, and then just bring those hands out to the side. And trying to keep that wrist in line with the elbow. We want to keep that L shape with that arm. It's going to give us the most bang for our buck in that stretch. Five, four, three, two, one. Slowly bring them back in and relax. Okay, we're stretching out the triceps this time. So with this, we're going to bring one hand up as close to the ears as we can, and then drop that hand behind, creating a bend in the elbow, and then we're going to grab right at that elbow joint and just try to get a little distance from that elbow to the shoulder. We're not pulling on the skin here, we're trying to get that palm right on that elbow and get that whole appendage away from that shoulder, because the farther that elbow is away from that shoulder, the more stretch you're gonna get in that tricep. You'll feel this if you get a little side bend there, you'll feel a little bit in the side. And then switch. You're trying to get that hand behind the back and then just lean to the side. Five, four, three, two, one, and relax. Okay, second part of this stretch. We're gonna bring the arm across, keeping it straight. And depending on where you feel helps into the stretch, you can have your other arm come underneath and push that arm into the chest. We don't want to have it right on the elbow, either above or below. Because again, we want to avoid placing direct pressure on the joint. And we're just bringing that hand, that arm as close to the chest as possible, feeling this all from the back of the shoulder towards the tricep. And we're keeping that arm locked, so a way to help with that is to keep the hand open and flex those fingers. It's going to keep that arm rigid and best for that stretch. And then switch, slowly release. Again, with any stretching, we want a slow release and not just let everything fall out. We want to control it out and in. And it alleviates a lot of injury because we're not just letting the body slingshot out into a relaxed position. Again, arm is across, upper chest is where we're focusing on getting that arm. Other hand comes underneath. You can either have it above the elbow or below. It's wherever feels most comfortable. We're just making sure it's not on the elbow joint itself. Hands are open, keeping that arm straight and rigid. Five, four, three, two, one, and slowly release. Thank you for joining me, everybody. I hope these stretches were helpful to alleviate a lot of that upper body tension some of us feel as we're sitting a little more than we used to. So again, if you're just starting out with these stretches, 2 to 3 times a week, about 2 to 3 times for 15 to 20 seconds holding. And just ease into it, find which stretches work best for you. You don't have to do all of them. These are merely just suggestions to help alleviate some of that upper body tension. Thank you again for joining me, everybody. See you guys next time. Be safe, be kind, and choose to be well. Take care.